Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Pet Peeves with Liam. Today we're going to talk about climate change, global warming, gentrification, and inflation. So we're first going to talk about climate change and global warming. So with increased temperatures and these wilder storms coming into play, a lot of people are coming to the realization like, we can't live here no more. It's becoming a little bit too much, even for the insurance that they're unable to pay for the insurance payments for the premiums. And people are also coming into the realization like the gas prices are going up, food access isn't there anymore. So these are things that people are thinking about. Along with job insecurity, so people move to these cheaper areas that's going to fill all their needs. That way they can live there a lot more cheaper and a lot more accessible. Along with the job insecurity, so people then move to those cheaper areas thinking that it's going to be a lot more cheaper, but because of the population increase in that area, the resources in that area is going to go down, the market price is going to go up, food prices are going to go up, all the diseases are going to go up, crime is then going to go up as a result because there's so many people that's there. To also include the living cost. Pennies. So the second thing of what we're going to talk about is inflation. So inflation is basically the dollar value losing its cost. So getting to these pennies, one penny right here is copper, the other penny is, well, I don't really know. So the copper one, right, is actually worth 2 cents or more, and the non-copper one is just worth 1 cent. Now both of them, if you give it to your standard or just a typical individual, they're gonna be like, oh, it's just a penny. No, it's because of the metal and where it came from of the year, it can actually be worth more than 1 penny. It could be worth 1 to 5 cents or however much. I remember not too long ago, I can use this dollar to buy a 75-cent hoagie, right? And then also buy probably, yeah, it was like 35 cent soda or pop, wherever you guys call it, wherever you guys are from, and buy 5 cents worth of candy, and that'll be my whole meal for lunch. Now I could barely get anything with this dollar. Soda costs $1.75, $2 now in some cases. So the value of the dollar, it means not, it's like pennies at this point. So moving forward to my second example would be $10. So what is $10 to you? It's $10 can be a lot. Just like in my stocks video, it's how you invest into that $10. It's how you invest into those pennies and that dollar. Is what you do with it. That way it can double on you. Now, just to buy a whole meal costs $10, and $10 is nothing now. So that is an example of what inflation is. Last thing what we're going to talk about is gentrification. So gentrification, anytime you hear gentrification, is basically at what cost? So what is gentrification? So gentrification is basically when an individual or a group of individuals can afford to live in that cheap area and buy up all the land, whether that be in actual land or it could be the houses of that area. And what does it do? So it pushes those natives out of that land to another area that they'll be able to live or not really be able to live in. Gentrification is only good for when you're on its side. So you have money, you're like, oh, you know, this house been sitting here for so many years, I'm gonna buy this house. You take it over, and or a group of individuals take over that house like a bank, and they own that property and they fix it up, they turn it into a condominium. Now you have this condominium right next to or in front of all these other abandoned houses. So what is that going to do? So you're going to have foot traffic, individuals that's going to be looking at the house and be thinking, you know what, this house could look just like this house. This house could look just like this house. Next thing you know, you have a whole area full of condominiums in that one area because somebody had a good idea and it wind up taking away or adding to that could be the foundations or the natural looks of that area. An example I'm going to use is the Dakota Pipeline. So the Dakota Pipeline brought back so many good jobs, or it introduced so many jobs, but it took away from the natural looks and the natural aspects of what that land stands for and what it's all about. Now, because of gentrification, it pushes those people out of their native land, right? And it pushes them into another area. Those areas, residents may already be facing big storms and things of that nature that native was never introduced to. So now they're paying these high prices in insurance, and they're forced to have 1 to 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet for themselves and for their family, and it just makes it a lot more stressful for them. So a lot of those city people that don't like the dirt and playing in the dirt, or likes wildlife or and things of that nature, howdy neighbor, because you're gonna start seeing a lot of wild animals and things of that nature that you haven't been seeing into the city. So these are the things that's happening now, and these are the things that will be happening a lot more frequently. And vice versa with the country people moving into the city. Start getting aware that it's not all nice and cool into the city. It's a little bit more worse because you got people with their attitude. You got a lot more road raging and things of that nature. So just a little heads up for you to be mindful of. And same thing with my city people to the country. You basically need a car. If not a car, start learning how to horseback ride, because it's going to be some distance before you even get to the next town or whatever. People who live in those higher price states move to those cheaper price states because of the opportunity that there is within that area. However, they wind up in overpopulating those areas. And again, because they're making that high price money, they wind up buying a lot of that land and having it as their own assets. Now, because you have all these people moving to this area, that means there's going to be less people in this area of land, right? So what does that mean? There's going to be less people functioning to make that area function as a whole. So you're going to have less retail, less people doing your pumps. If you guys are New Jersey residents, you're going to have people not putting the stocks on the shelves, things of that nature. And that's happening all around. So that's something that is hitting really hard with our economy, is that people aren't working. And you can't really blame them, because people don't want to be treated on how they were once treated before, where you have a mean manager and they think that that they could overwork you or not give you a break or not pay you what you deserve. But at the same time, because we don't have people in these areas, it's going to cause integrity to break within that pillar. That way the whole function of the job and for everything to go smoothly is just going to start falling apart very, very fastly. So what does that mean? That means that a lot more people are going to be stretched thin. That means a lot more errors are going to occur. So you have fast food, and they have to meet human demand because they want fast food. I want it now, right? So that means that if I got to put some steroids up into this chicken to make it grow a lot more or to have more eggs, so be it. But these little problems are going to occur to these big problems that's going to have an effect on your life long term. Following up on it being overpopulated, there are going to be more increases of the product itself. So you're going to have to probably have one good paying job or 2 or 3 jobs is going to make it. But just to put food on the table is at least $20 at this point. So start being aware of that and what's going on. So I'm going to wrap up. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one. Be safe.